Hey church, I thought I would try this Facebook Live stuff. I thought it might be easier than actually trying to upload a video later. So I don't necessarily expect everybody to see this right away and log in and join, but mostly I just wanted to check in with y'all and reach out to y'all. You have no idea how this live video is out of my comfort zone. I would much rather speak behind a podium and see you guys face to face in the eyeball. But I just thought I needed to reach out and share my heart, send out maybe a word of encouragement. I think our pastors, Randy and Elizabeth, will be reaching out sometime this afternoon or this evening also. So bear with me. I may be stumbling all over myself. Like I said, this is not in my comfort zone, and I know every day I try to extend past that zone. So hopefully y'all will catch this video sometime later, if not now. But so what I wanted to share was a few nights ago, I woke up in the middle of the night, and it was about 1:45 a.m. and the Lord would not let me go to sleep. So I think I laid in bed for about an hour praying off and on, with the lights off, still under my covers. And I thought, that'll appease the Lord, and that'll be good, right? So about an hour into it, and as I was praying, Lord, just speak into me, give me something to share with others, because I know we're living in such a chaotic time right now. And I kept feeling like the Lord was telling me, if you want me to speak into you, you need to get up and write. And I was like, oh my Lord, it's 2:45 in the morning. I don't want to get up. I'm tired. And he's like, you want me to speak into you, but you won't get up and write. So I was like, okay. So I got up and I started writing and reading the word first, and just really praying and trying to breathe in God. And because I know recently he's been really trying to show me that I just need to sit and breathe him in, and that's when his peace starts flooding my soul. So I did that, and I wrote some things down, and I'm not saying that I've heard some major word from God, but I do want to share what I felt led in my heart to at least write down, and hopefully it touches somebody where they are. So a few things that I wrote down, and also too, what's been an encouragement to me is I've been able to be a part of some conference calls with the Destiny Leaders. It's a group that our church is a part of, and my husband and I are a part of. And it's been such an encouragement to me, and I write down every little thing the other pastors are speaking of. And but anyway, one of the things I felt the Lord has been telling me through everything that we're going through right now that I want to share with you is, I know I wrote this down, and I think Dylan shared it on the page, but basically I feel that all of us right now think that this whole thing, our life is being shut down, and God's not going to fulfill these major promises that he's given us. And I want to encourage you to know that I do not believe for one moment this is a postponement of his promises, but I believe that it is a proponent of his promises. And God is about to do something huge in the church, and I'm seeing that in all of the videos right now, and from other pastors in the area, the amazing things that God is doing. I'm seeing amazing video of the medical community and their prayers, and their singing from balconies, from places in Europe, the people coming together. So I'm astounded at what God is doing so far. Something else I want to share too is, in one of the conference calls I was a part of, Pastor Scott Jones had mentioned in Genesis that where in the beginning, when God was creating everything, he said his spirit hovered over the chaos. And I'm not generally a crier, but it seems like when I do talk about the Lord and something that anytime he speaks to me, I do find myself crying a lot, and that's probably age and hormones. But when he mentioned that the Spirit hovering over the chaos was huge, because I believe that God is hovering over our chaos right now, just like Pastor Jones had mentioned. And in that moment when his Spirit was hovering over the chaos, Pastor Jones mentioned the creativity was birthed. And I think right now for the church, something huge is being birthed in the church and for the church. And I just cannot get past that this right now is an amazing time for everyone involved, especially the church. And it's funny because I don't know that I've been too worried in all of this or too depressed in all of this. For anyone who does not know me, or anybody that does and just doesn't know, depression is something that I have battled with for a long period of time in my life, and I'm willing to share that on another day. I'm willing to share my testimony on another day, but that's not for right now. But through it all, I have just had this odd sense of peace, and to be more expectant for something God is going to do through this chaos than be burdened down by this chaos. So some of the things I've asked the Lord is, what can I be doing right now in the middle of this chaos? What creativity do you want to birth through me and through the church in the middle of this chaos? And I think sometimes chaos can be a good thing, and I think sometimes boredom can be a good thing, and because it is in the middle of that creativity is birthed. And I'm going to try to not talk so long. I am a preacher's kid, and I do believe that I inherited my father's gift of long-windedness. So I will try to sum up a little bit. Try. So one of the things that I had started writing down was I thought it ironic in a sense that the Sunday before the quarantine and the shelter in place started happening and churches started shutting their doors, we finished up a series that called I Am a Church Member. It is a book that I read back when I was part of Calvary Church, and the hub leaders for the small groups were requested to read this, and it was a game changer for me back then, because I'm human, and I know at times I struggled with knowing with an attitude problem and knowing how to be a proper church member. Even though I cut my teeth on the Bible and, raised in a Christian home, doesn't mean I don't suffer from a bad attitude with the church. If anything, I might a little bit more. Excuse me, I got to take a drink of water. But in that series, we learned how to be a functioning church member, a unifying church member, how to pray for our leaders, how to lead our families to be healthy members. And as much as I said I think it's ironic, at the same time, I don't feel it's irony or a coincidence that we just finished that series. I believe it's providence. And something I wrote is it's a preparation. I believe that for us, church, it was a preparation of what's about to come, what is coming for the church right now. And even though I've preached this for years, and it has now become a reality, is that the church is not a building, it's a people. And what's amazing is I'm hearing this across the board with all the other church leaders. And our doors and our walls are falling down around us. And I thank God that we are not dependent on a building to be a church. The church has risen up, and I could not be more proud right now as showing signs of rejuvenating, which has rejuvenating and adapting, and we're morphing into what the church was created to be in the beginning. I'm not saying that the church has been bad in a bad place or in a bad time as far as doing it wrong. Of course, we're all humans, and I think we do it wrong sometimes, and there's been series of time that the church maybe has gotten it wrong. But I'm also the church's biggest supporter. So I think grace has been shown to us, but what's amazing right now, what I want to focus on is what the church is becoming. And Dylan and I are very much of an outside of the box type of people. Being born and raised, both of us, very conservative Christians, and I embrace that. I've had friends tell me that I'm very much of a conundrum of a person because I'm so conservative, but then there's such another side of me that is just out of the box and wacky and wants to do everything different. And I don't know how to feel about that, but I guess I'm going to embrace it because I'm probably one of the quirkiest people you will ever meet. So I guess that's what makes me unique. But let me rein this back in and focus. Anyway, I believe that the church is morphing into what he created the church to be. And it's a unified people with no walls. It's a people ready to truly serve. And if you forgive me, I tend to look at my notes a lot because I'm also one of those people that's addicted to a GPS. Even though I know where I'm going, I will be looking at my GPS the entire time to get there. So I'll be looking at my notes a lot. Like I said, I'm out of my comfort zone right now. So I've seen shirts. This is really cool. I don't know if y'all have seen them, but there's shirts out there that are saying the church has left the building. And I want one of those shirts. I totally want one of those shirts. And one of my favorite sayings right now, and I don't know if, I saw a friend of mine post this, and I don't know if he actually wrote this or if he had been sharing it also. But on his post, it said, the church is not empty. It's been deployed. And again, it was one of those things where I just wanted to cry because I'm doing it again. It's something that Dylan and I in our ministry, well, I say quote unquote ministry, I think we've been trying to seek ministry for the last few years, but I think right now we're finally starting to embrace what God's wanting to do in our life as far as ministry goes. And again, we've never been an in the box type of people. We're very much out of the box type of people. So I don't believe ministry always means behind the pulpit. And this season of time for the church is showing that. So again, let me rein back in and let me say, the church is not empty, it's been deployed. Church, you've been deployed. It's time to take all of that training, all of that discipleship, all of that equipping, okay, and put our hands and feet to the gospel. Now, you may ask, how can I do that? How can I do all of that without leaving my house? Well, if there's ever been a time where we are armed with the greatest physical weapon on this earth, it's to date, and it's now. And if you're watching me right now, you have it in your hand, or you have it at your fingertips. And in order to make an impact, you do not need to have some medical degree, which, oh my gosh, the videos and the pictures I'm seeing of the medical community right now doing their jobs to keep us safe is just, it's powerful. And I thank every one of you. I have several friends that are nurses that are posting, and I just want to thank you for all your hard work right now. And also, I don't believe that you have to have a special gift of sewing to make an impact, although I have several friends right now that have been making masks for hours and getting them out. And thank you so much for all that you're doing. It's going noticed. It's totally going noticed. And I do not think that you have to have a gift for baking, although I have several friends that are baking bread. They have chickens, so they're gathering up eggs, and they're getting with friends or people they know that are in desperate need, and they're taking them to their doorsteps, staying away, but giving them what they need. And I could keep going on and on about the list of people I'm seeing that are stepping up in this time and doing what they can, feeling something that they're led. And that's funny because that's one of the things that I know during one of the conference calls I had with Destiny was I felt like I needed to be doing something. And I was like, I don't know what to do. What can I do? And I'm sure some of you may feel, what can I do? I can't bake, or I don't honestly have enough supplies to bake, or I don't sew. I don't have a medical degree. What can I do? Again, at your fingertips, you have a device, and it is a way to get to somebody, into their home, into their heart, and just simply minister to somebody's heart. I am loving all the videos, and it's on Facebook and Instagram and all of that right now, because it's a way to stay connected. I joke around and say I'm Queen of Hermitville with superhuman abilities that succeed introverting. But we're made for community, and I'm getting lonely too. So I go to Facebook or I go to my phone and I'm texting somebody. So, but think of this, with the device that you have in your hand right now, you have a way to get there, into homes that are lonely, homes that are broken, homes that are hurting. I think we can be a light. One of the things Destiny leaders are saying right now, is a term they're using, is shine on. And we can be a light in the darkness of somebody else. These videos that people are sharing are lifting me up. Even if it's a silly dance. We have some good friends in New Jersey that I've never met them in person, but they are probably some of the dearest friends we've ever had. And I love to see his wife post videos of him dancing. It just cracks me up, and it made me smile. And if you can make somebody smile, you have done something huge right now, because the world seems dark right now. But I promise you, it's not near as dark as you think it is right now. Even with a lot of bad that's going on, I believe a lot of good is about to come from it. And another thing that I can share another day is, I have been through some things, some trauma and some trials in my life that should have shut me out and should have taken me down. And it's things that to any normal human may say, oh my word, I don't know how you got through that. I don't know how you survived the mental struggle that came through any of that. And I did, and I'm alive. I chose to stay alive despite anything that I've gone through. Again, that's a testimony for another day. But again, I want to encourage you that we are armed with 3 important weapons right now: prayer, and the word, and a digital device. So please reach out to people. Don't stop those videos. I know some of you are like, I make fun of people who are who FaceTime a lot. Who Facebook Live a lot. And I used to be one of those people. And another friend of ours, Karen Hancock, and her husband, pastor in Dallas at Christian World, and they were joking about how their family makes fun of people who Facebook Live a lot, and now they're doing it because they want to make sure and stay connected. I love every minute of it. I know I keep repeating that, but please don't stop. Please don't stop reaching out. So reach out to people, call people, text people. That is a way to connect. I hate the term social distancing. It's another meme I saw. It should be physical distancing, not social distancing. Don't stop connecting. So church, we have that ability to do that right now. Again, church, you have the ability to be in more homes than you've ever had the chance to be, because we got in such a habit of being in our walls to minister to people that, I think in a sense we were missing it just a little bit, even though I believe in gathering together in our building and coming together for unified worship and unified hearing of the word. Again, it's time for us to get out of those walls. And I think this time has forced us to do that. So, but do you see the impact, church, that we're having in just 1 week's time? 1 week's time. The impact has been huge, huge. So let me shift gears for a little bit. I know some of you are actually feeling really overwhelmed right now with all of the effects from this virus. You're having to play teacher on top of your everyday parenting, and this is not what you signed up for. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this right now, it's probably because you're watching through half-dead eyes late at night, and or you're hiding in the bathroom trying to get 5 minutes of peace because dadgummit, mama just needs quiet time. And that's okay. That's okay, because I've been there. I know how it feels to teach my kids and parent at the same time and just feel completely and utterly overwhelmed completely. But first of all, let me say this, dear sweet mama or daddy, take a moment to breathe. Just slow and calm, and let me speak into you specifically for a moment. It's going to be okay. I promise you, allow yourself grace right now. If your child's assignments are that intense, it means they're older and they're quite capable of taking the time to learn themselves. I promise you. And teachers, oh my gosh, thank you so much for continually helping our kids, because just recently we put 2 of ours in a local private school up the road. We were offered an amazing opportunity to do that, and through a ministry scholarship, and they are loving it. And they came home though after being quarantined, and they're like, wait a minute, we just started going here a month ago and now we have to homeschool again. So yeah, I get it. Teachers, it was still worth putting them in to have you help me out, so thank you so much for all the hours that you put into that. But mom and dad, what I want to say is, let me just rein some of this in. I've written a lot according to that, because I know some people personally that are really struggling right now with having to teach and parent, and some work also full-time from home. And please just allow yourself some grace. Take a breath. This is going to pass. And at the end of the day, this short period of time is not going to affect their academic growth, for good or bad. I promise you that anything they're going to remember from this time is how much they have gotten to spend time with you. So focus on that. It's hard not to say don't stress. As a matter of fact, it's the number one thing you don't say to somebody dealing mentally with mental struggles is don't stress. They don't want to hear a command not to worry. So I get it, but just take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. And allow God to breathe upon you, to breathe into you. Find that 5 minutes of peace as often as you can, and do deep breathing and concentrate on the peace of God to flood your soul, because it's the only thing I understand right now that may get you through that. And don't feel like you can't be a help to society right now, because you are. Yes, you are. You are helping those teachers with feeling overloaded themselves. But back to one of the things we learned in our Bible study of how to be a church member. And again, church is not a building. It's a unity of people. It was how to lead your family to be a healthy church member. So now is the time. Now is a great time to focus on that, and focus on how to learn to pray. So your kids can watch you pray. Don't be afraid to pray out loud as you're going about your day. They can learn how to pray for their country. They can learn how to pray for their leaders. They can learn how to pray for those in need, how to pray for healing, how to trust God through all of this. Again, breathe. Show yourself some grace. You are not failing, Mama. You are not failing, Daddy. I promise you are not failing your kids right now, and you're not failing yourself right now. Just breathe and allow God again to breathe into you, and allow them to see your example of praying through this and trusting God through this. You are equipped with the greatest gift there is, even if you feel like you have nothing to offer, and that's prayer. That is the most important weapon we have. For anybody that has seen the movie War Room or read the book Fervent, prayer. Again, I go back to that a lot, because I'm one of those people who I have probably zero self-confidence. I don't ever feel like I'm enough. I'm not. I have nothing to offer. But again, those are lies from the enemy, and it's a spirit of fear. And I'm going to say something here that may be worthy of some people arguing over somatics, but think about this. I don't believe that fear necessarily is a feeling. I believe fear is a spirit that we have that comes against us. So don't be afraid to pray. That is the greatest weapon we have right now. We need people on behind the scenes that are praying for leaders, praying for our pastors, praying for our youth ministers. Again, right now I feel lost because I'm thinking, we have a small youth group. How can I offer anything to the world? But that's a lie. That's a fear. And we need the church to pray for each other in the middle of this. Pray how we can be something to somebody. If anything, you're praying for them. That, again, I keep saying it, prayer, because the church is only as strong as the people praying. It's something no one can take from you. It cannot be canceled, and prayer cannot be quarantined. It is the one thing that cannot be taken from you, so use it. Use it. It is your greatest weapon. Again, prayer can be done throughout the day. I think it's important to take that time. It's biblical to take that time alone with God when you first wake up, giving first 5 minutes. It's scientifically proven that the brain rejuvenates baby neurons during the night. And I'm sure you've heard this from Lisa TerKeurst has mentioned this, and Dr. Carolyn Leaf preaches this regularly. But your brain produces brand new baby neurons while you sleep. So what you do with those baby neurons when you first wake up, in the first moments of waking up, set your tone for the rest of the day. That is medically and scientifically proven. So I encourage you, even if it's 5 minutes, the first moments when you wake up is to give God some glory, praise and worship. Even if it's talking to Him and thanking Him for this beautiful day, even though right now where we live is gray and gloomy. He still created this day, and God is still good even when life is not. Okay? Our circumstances do not define the goodness of God. But again, give God some time in the morning. Even if it's 5 minutes, as you have a baby who just stumbled out of their bed and came bugging you first thing, it's okay. Let them hear you pray while you're snuggling them, just for 5 minutes. But what I encourage you to do throughout the day is just pray. Keep praying. Stay in a state of prayer. Even if it's while you're washing dishes, thanking God that you are in a safe environment. Because I know there are people out there that are not in a safe environment right now. And that's another thing. People are like, how can you be so upbeat when so many bad things are happening right now, and to kids that are stuck at home, that are being abused? And let me tell you this, I'm not being hard-hearted. I get it. But I'm also one of those that I think because I struggle showing emotion sometimes is because I'm too sensitive to the emotion. It bothers me too much. And it's not a good thing for me to dwell on bad things. I will pray over that situation, but forgive me if I have to quickly move on and focus on something good. I have to dwell on something good. And right now, I know that God is good. And I'm going to focus on that. And I'm going to focus on what is good in my life in the moment. And right now, I have my kids home. And I love that. We're a full household. When Dylan's home, we are a household of 8. And honestly, I'm loving every minute of right now, because it means I don't have an excuse to have to get out. And my kids don't have an excuse to go anywhere. We're all together. I've never played so many games, watched so many movies with my kids, gone on so many walks. I think we walked over 4 miles yesterday, and I think they were hating me by the time we got home. But at the same time, we felt amazing after it all. So I want to read a scripture before I sign off, and it comes from Psalm 62. It's just a few of the verses from that chapter. And it says, "For God alone my soul waits in silence. From Him comes my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my defense and my strong tower. I will not be shaken or disheartened. For God alone my soul waits in silence and quietly submits to Him. for my hope is from him. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress and my defense, and I will not be shaken or discouraged. O God, my salvation and my glory rest. He is my rock of unyielding strength. My refuge is in God. Trust confidently in him at all times, O people, and pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. And the other day I took that scripture and I wrote it as if I was speaking to God. So I encourage you to take that. Go to Psalm 62 and speak it, write it down. I'm a big proponent of writing my prayers and writing things down. It helps me to focus. And I would just say, you alone, God, my soul waits in silence. For you comes my salvation. And I would encourage you to do that. So another thing I want to encourage you on is just, again, I keep going back to this because this is one of my words for the year. I remember at the beginning of the year, I was like, oh God, what's my word? And he showed me, I'm not going to give you a word for the year. I'm going to give you a word at different times throughout the year. And it's for whatever I'm going through. My first word was, I'm drawing a blank because it's not in front of me. But my first word was, why did I just go blank? Sufficient. He was encouraging me in the very beginning of this year to find sufficiency in God. I think again that's ironic. My second word, just literally a month after that was breathe. So far I've heard sufficient and breathe, and that was before all of this. And about a week before we went into quarantine, I heard the Lord speak to me when for a moment, I felt fear trying to come in and grip me, was manna. Manna, I'm going to take care of you. You shall not want. So I have heard sufficient, I've heard breathe, and I've heard manna. I think I see a theme there. And then all of a sudden this seemingly chaos started happening. So I encourage you to breathe him in and then breathe him out into the world around you. Even if it is only even if it is 6 feet apart or behind closed doors, I encourage you to breathe. Just breathe him in. Also, I want to read this one scripture and then I'm going to let you go because, again, I can be very long-winded. You can thank Donald T. Smith for that. That is my father. That is my father within me. But as I was writing in my journal the other day, at the very bottom, when I got to the bottom of the journal page, it was Isaiah 61. 61. And it said, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." Church, the glory of the Lord is upon us, and it's a time for us to shine. And again, when I hear with the Destiny leaders right now is shine on. So, church, I encourage you to shine. And in order to be able to shine on and work outside those walls that we're so used to being inside, pray daily, and do what we can for others. Don't stop reaching out to people. Don't stop those videos. I know it's awkward, and right now I feel like crying because I'm so out of my comfort zone, but please don't stop the videos. Please don't stop texting, reaching out, because there are people out there that are not okay and they're not handling this okay. So we need to figure out who that is, who is burdening our spirit right now. Reach out to them. Don't stop. I love you, Journey Church, and if I stumble too much, I apologize. But thank you so much for watching this video if you did. And if you need anything, if you have my phone number, please text me. I am in a bad service area. You can always try to call, but I have to be standing on my head in just the right spot. So text me first or Facebook message me, anything. I'm here and I'm willing to pray. If I don't have the answer, I can pray. And so can you. Thank you so much. We love you. I'll talk to you later.